What's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Noman and today I'm going to analyze the game between Barcelona and Valencia. So Barcelona lined up in a 4-3-3 formation, but they shifted to 4-4-2 without possession, with Coutinho moving in the midfield. Valencia on the other hand also lined up in a 4-4-2 formation, and they kept this narrow, low block 4-4-2 formation throughout the game. So as we can see here, Valencia are keeping a 4-4-2 shape without the ball. And similarly, Barcelona also kept a 4-4-2 shape without possession. Marcelino's game plan was quite clear right from the kickoff. Valencia were happy to sit back and defend in a low block. They tried to frustrate Barcelona and looked to hit them on transitions. Valencia are sitting very deep in their own goal box, with a very narrow in between the lines distances. But there was a real trap in Valencia's defensive shape. Valencia kept a very narrow defensive shape and they tried to crowd the central zones. By keeping a narrow defensive shape, Valencia tried to crowd the central areas, and they allowed spaces on the wide areas for Barcelona. This forced Barca's fullbacks to push up and occupy those wide spaces, but Valencia kept both Rodrigo and Gamero up front all the time, and as soon as Valencia won possession, they quickly looked to free Rodrigo and Gamero using those wide spaces. Valencia is keeping a narrow defensive shape. They are crowding the central areas and leaving the spaces open on the flanks, inviting Barca's fullbacks to push up and attack. Same, Sergi Roberto on the other side also pushing up and looking to create overload with Coutinho's help. Sergi Roberto pushed up to create the overload, and now Barca is in trouble on transition as Sergi Roberto is guarded out of his position. 1v2 against the centre back and Sergi Roberto is nowhere to be seen. Valencia hit the post and Barca nearly escaped. I mentioned it in my last video as well that Barcelona looked very exposed on transitions as their fullbacks are often caught out of their positions. And Marcelino used that brilliantly. By making a narrow defensive shape, he invited Barca's fullbacks to push up in the wide areas and then tried to catch Barcelona on transitions, and this is how they scored their first goal as well. This time Nelson Semedo is caught out of his position and Piqué is in 1v2 situation. Same exact pattern, just different players, and Valencia scored the goal. Barcelona's attacking fullbacks were leaving them exposed defensively, but they did help them offensively. With possession, Barcelona's fullbacks often pushed up, and they tried to pull Valencia's fullbacks out of their positions to create space in the defensive line for midfield runners. Semedo pulls the Valencia fullback out of his position to create space in between the centre-back and the fullback for Alena's run. Messi picks him in that same space. Same thing here as well. Semedo again pulls the left back out of his position and tries to create the space in the defensive line for Alena's run. Alena made some very good runs in between the centre back and fullback, but couldn't do much because of the narrow in between the lines distances. Since the gap between the lines was very narrow, so as soon as a Barca player received the pass in between the lines, he was quickly closed down from both sides. By sitting in a narrow low block defensive shape, Valencia made it super hard for Barcelona to create any space in and around the 18 yards box. And thus Barcelona were often forced to take long range shots from outside the box, as they had no clear passage inside the box. So as we can see here, there is no space in and around the 18 yards area, and Messi is forced to take the shot from outside the box. So as we can see from this short zone as well, 45% of Barcelona's shots were taken from outside of the box, which means that out of the total 20 shots that Barcelona took in this game, 9 were taken from outside the box. And of course, if there is someone who can take a shot from outside the box, then it's none other than Lionel Messi. Messi has scored more than 100 goals from outside the box for both club and country. And this is exactly what Messi did to provide Barcelona the equalizer. Again, very crowded 18-yard space, and Messi is forced to take the shot from outside the box, and he scores the goal. The benefit of having Messi in your team is that he helps to free his teammates. When Messi has the ball, he attracts the attention of his opponents, which help his teammates to make free runs. Messi has the possession and he has attracted the attention of 6 Valencia players, which allows Coutinho to make a free run at the far post. Messi alone took out 6 Valencia players, and that allowed Coutinho to run free inside the box. I also mentioned in my last video that Barcelona like to defend with a high line, which often puts them in a tough situation. The problem with the high line is that if you can't play the offside trap well, then you are always in trouble. Barca's high defensive line and Parejo trying to pick his teammate behind the line. Same thing here as well. Barca's high defensive line and again well-timed run behind the line. Marcelino's plan was working very well, narrow defense and allowing spaces on the wide areas, inviting Barcelona to use the width and then hitting them on counter-attacks using his front two. But there is always a chance when you have Messi in the team. Despite Valencia's 2 banks of 4, Messi was able to pick his spot from outside the box. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.